Residents in Nash County flooded the Board of Commissioners meeting calling for justice for 8-year-old Christal Lane. Her grandmother is accused of beating her to death in February. However, WRAL broke the news that social services learned weeks earlier that the girl was being abused. Now the county's Department of Social Services is under investigation by the state. WRAL's Keenan Willard spoke with a former Nash County social services leader defending the department today.
We were the only outlet in the meeting here when it turned into a debate over the Christal Lane case. One side calling for change at Nash DSS, while former leaders stood up for those under investigation.
In the public comment period at today's Nash County Commissioners meeting, multiple people stood up and spoke in support of Christal Lane.
She lived in a constant war zone, and DSS knew of this and did nothing.
This is just horrible. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to a child.
The 8-year-old girl lived in Nashville with 5 siblings at the home of her grandmother, Patricia Ricks. On February 7th, the Nash Sheriff's Office says Lane was beaten to death by Ricks, who was charged with first-degree murder. WRAL found that weeks earlier, Nash Social Services had been notified by Lane's elementary school that she was possibly being abused. A staff member at the school says on December 19th, Lane came to school severely beaten, with Nash DSS opening an investigation that day, but choosing not to remove Lane or her siblings from the home. She died less than 2 months later.
Words really just can't explain. This could have been prevented. This should never have happened.
On March 17th, DHHS released a report that found the county mishandled the abuse case of Christal Lane. But the report also examined 23 other child abuse cases, finding that only 39% were properly supervised by Nash DSS.
We can't bring her back. But from this day forth, we need to know that any child that is under investigation through DSS is held at a high standard. We're not sweeping anyone under the rug.
But others defended Nash DSS, including former Social Services Director Donna Boone. Speaking publicly about the case for the first time, Boone spoke in support of Director Amy Pridgeon-Hamlet and Deputy Director Shay Neal, saying she has confidence they can right the ship.
I would implore you all to, if anything, to maybe consider adding additional social work staff and child protective services to help them be able to spend all the time they need with each child in each case.
Nash DSS has 2 weeks to submit a corrective action plan to fix the findings in the state's report. Some hope it's the first step towards justice for Christal Lane.
We just never want to forget her, and that hopefully her death will never be in vain.
Keenan Willard, WRAL News, Nash County.